How essential would you say a travel consultant is? Because a lot of people I know, me included, will just say we will wing it, we will Google. So now, how do you sell yourself to a client and say, listen, you need me to figure out what's best for you, you need me to take care of you? How do you sell yourself to a client?
A travel consultant is going to incorporate every single aspect of your travel. Instead of you having the headache of Googling a hotel, paying via your credit card, again, there's fraud online. So we have the beauty of technology, but we also have the vices that come with the fraud, being conned, getting there and finding out the hotel is not what it looks online, you see. For us as a travel consultant, we vet that for you. So you have a guarantee that if you give me as your travel consultant the job to make sure you come from this place to that destination, it means it's 100% guaranteed.
Welcome to yet another episode of The Millionaire Mind. My name is Turife, and joining us today we have Annette White. And before she even does anything, she should tell us the origin of the name. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, Turi. How are you?
Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm honored. I'm honored.
So please introduce yourself and what you do.
Again, my name, Annette White. Wanjiko. That is the bit that I tend to leave out intentionally. But Annette White Wanjiko. I am a Kenyan, born by Kenyan parents, born in Kenya. So I think that
covers everything.
Yes.
Okay.
But I think my parents were inspired. My mom told me that my middle name came from inspiration from her boss. Her first boss was white, and so I guess you know, I became, and the skin color also does a bit of it for me. So that's Annette White. I am a 24-year-old with 10 years of experience.
Wow.
Yes.
We won't do the math. It's
Thank
okay.
you. A mother of one. A lover of life, and I am a travel consultant by profession.
Awesome.
That's in a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
Annette, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us for this conversation.
Thank you for
So we'll
having
get
me.
right into it and tell us what exactly it means to be a travel consultant, because it sounds very fancy. So please explain to us.
Well, a travel consultant is a human being, or it can be a machine. But here in Kenya, a travel consultant is a human being who assists you in making your travel arrangements. From the time you leave your house, to the time you go to the airport, to the time you board your flight, you get to your destination, you get to your hotel. From your hotel, you do the tours in the destination and back home. They do a lot to facilitate travel. And in this day and age, it's good to have someone who knows what they're doing in terms of destinations and properties around the world. So basically, a travel consultant is someone who's got you when it comes to travel.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And how essential would you say a travel consultant is? Because a lot of people I know, me included, will just say we will wing it, we will Google. So now, how do you sell yourself to a client and say, listen, you need me to figure out what's best for you, you need me to take care of you? How do you sell yourself to a client?
Right now, I can say we are competing with technology. Yeah, we are in an age where technology is just winning and winning. And so again, someone would ask that question, what are you doing for me that I cannot do for myself? And it's very simple for me. A travel consultant is going to incorporate every single aspect of your travel. Instead of you having the headache of Googling a hotel, paying via your credit card, again, there's fraud online. So we have the beauty of technology, but we also have the vices that come with the fraud, being conned, getting there and finding out the hotel is not what it looks online, you see. For us as a travel consultant, we vet that for you. So you have a guarantee that if you give me as your travel consultant the job to make sure you come from this place to that destination, it means it's 100% guaranteed. This is the hotel you're going to stay in. This is the flight you're going to take. This is the cab you're going to have. It's going to have aircon. If I tell you it's going to have aircon. And so it minimizes we minimize the possibility, the possibility of being conned. And then we kind of like, we are your shield when it comes to being conned and the whole fraud cases. Over and above that, we give you options. Because a travel consultant is someone who has vast knowledge. If you've been in the industry for long enough, you have vast knowledge of destinations and properties. Google can give you what you ask it directly. It won't give you a multitude of options. I'm able to suggest as well. You see, Google is a machine. It will not tell you if you are asthmatic, don't stay there. You see, a travel consultant customizes your travel based on you. So I'll ask you several questions that will make me customize your travel, and your experience will be exactly that.
Awesome. And when did you get into, the industry or being a travel consultant? And, how did you go about it?
So funny story. When I was young, I wanted to be a pilot. So I go through primary school, I passed very well, I joined high school, and in high school, Form 1, Form 2, I realized physics is giving me a headache. Here I am, I want to be a pilot, and one of the subjects that you really need to be good at is physics, chemistry, and mathematics, And so my physics and chemistry was just hitting me properly. And so at Form 3, I said, well, this pilot thing might not work. And it did not work. So when I finished high school, we had a sit down with my parents, and I told them, I really want to be in the travel industry, in the tourism industry. And since I cannot be a pilot because, again, physics, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the next best thing to being a pilot. I am going to book people to that flight, and I'm going to give people destinations and the dream of being in different places. That is what I'm going to be. I'm going to give those people an experience. I don't have to be the one flying them there. I'm going to give them that experience. And so I finished high school with that in mind. I went to college, did a specific course, which is air ticketing. So it's under travel and consultancy, it's air ticketing. And so what we do is we have a whole system where we can book your flight, we can book your hotels and all that. So it started from way young, but now when I found out I can now be a pilot, I chose travel consultant.
It's still in the same umbrella of things.
It is. In fact, I would say we are superheroes.
Exactly. She does not mean to toot her own horn, but she has said it. Okay, so you have mentioned destinations, and given your vast experience and the time you have been in the industry, what, in your expert opinion, would you say are the best travel destinations in 2023? We're just, coming back from a pandemic. Things are a bit new. So what is the best travel destination in 2023?
Okay. I'll take you back a little bit. So I became a travel consultant back in 2011. So that's 12 years now. And back then, locally you could go to Mombasa. That is at the end of the year. You just go to Mombasa, we all fill the place,
all of us,
and then we come back. That's the best we knew, and it was good.
You'd go during peak season, not knowing better.
Exactly. And it was good, it worked at that time. You see, now COVID came, it hit us proper. You can't be crowded. we are now more cautious when it comes to, you know, health and our spaces. And so as it is right now in 2023, locally, Mombasa is still very good, but Kenyans have started learning more about other destinations. We have Savo, we have Samburu, we have the Mara has always been very, very epic, especially the migration time. We have Taita Hills. There's so much. There's so many gems in Kenya that we have not yet explored. And if you have a travel consultant, they will help you.
They will help you see all these things in Kenya.
Yeah. Again, outside Kenya, we have Zanzibar, which is very, very beautiful. We have Dubai, and we have South Africa. Those ones are very, very famous because, again, South Africa, we as Kenyans, we don't require a visa, so it has become very, very popular. Yeah.
Help us demystify how inexpensive, you know, traveling can be, because sometimes you want to go to a certain destination, you want to go outside the country, but you're hit with the fear of, that is expensive, that is too much money.
I have to sell my title deed.
Exactly. you have to sell land and cattle to you know, afford to travel to these places. But recently my friend and I were actually doing the cost comparisons, just getting on a search engine, typing in return ticket to this and this, and we were like, this is so cheap, you know. So how do you help people demystify how cost effective it is to travel, and how budget friendly traveling outside the country can be?
It is very, 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 very affordable, and with good planning, you can literally travel to, I usually say, you can put a target of traveling to 3 places in a year. So you divide your year in quarters, and you say the first 3 months or the first 4 months, this is where I'm going, the next like this. Why? Because back then, travel used to be for the elite. After COVID, a lot of facilities, a lot of properties, a lot of airlines realized that travel has to be accessible to everyone. And the company that I work for, I'm not self-employed, I am employed.
It's okay.
I work for a company called View Travel, and so there's a whole program of Lipa Pole Pole, where you put money aside through the company, and it's sort of like a bank, or, you know, a savings plan that goes towards the destination that you have told us. And eventually, as a travel consultant, we negotiate the rates for you. So you would go online and find, for example, $500 for a flight to Zanzibar. You come to us and we could have 450. So you've saved $50. You go to a hotel, they would charge you this much, but because you're coming through a travel consultant who is a registered agent, then you have negotiated rates. So it becomes way cheaper to travel, especially if you go through the consultants who have very good negotiated rates. So anyone who wants to travel, they can make a plan and say, I will start saving this much. I will have a sit down with my consultant and tell them, this is the budget that I'm working with. I have X amount, and I want this amount to be enough for the whole trip. There's always a destination that is going to be covered in that cost.
Now, coming back to the clients or the people who are actually traveling, if I am traveling to maybe Europe and I'm coming through you as a travel consultant, of course you're going to give me a few tips, or this is the hotel you're staying at, this is what's going on. But if there's a problem, if they encounter a problem there, how are you able now to solve these issues from so far away? How are you able to solve this remotely? Now, do you require contacts there, or how exactly will will your client be able to be assured that if anything goes wrong on their end, they're going to get support from you?
Okay, so there are myriad of things that could go wrong. Let's start, from immigration, you know, to the hotel, to the pickup. There are a lot of things that could go wrong. How we come in as a travel consultant is, most of the time we have people on the ground. We have communicated prior, because remember, we've booked the hotel for you. So we've been talking to these people. It's not machine. We've been saying, my client is coming. they are this. So there's someone with a placard with your name on them, on it, yeah? And so that person, we know them by name. We know their number. We can ask them, have you seen my client? Are they there? Again, because we are dealing with companies and not individuals, it is very, very see-through, to say the least. It's very see-through, and it's very accountable. There's a lot of accountability when you're dealing with companies, yeah? And so when you come to me, my company has booked for you through another company. If it's a hotel, it's a registered company. A hotel is a registered company. They know we've given you the pickup person, this is your driver, this is their number, this is the number plate of the car. And so for us, we have people on the ground. Most of the time, 99% of the time, we have someone at the ground just to know, is my client okay? And on our side, we keep tabs. As a travel consultant, my first boss told me, your client, you can never rest until your client has gone and come back. That is when you say,
it's done.
Now it's done. Now the trip is over. Yeah. So when they are there, expect anything. As a travel consultant, we expect anything. And it's inbuilt because we want you to trust us the next time. If you call me from wherever, I will know, I will wake up, because again, people go to Korea, there's an 8 hours difference. You're in Korea in the morning, it's midnight here. If you call me, I will pick up. You tell me, what is the issue? The hotel booked me. I just checked in, they booked me a different room. I have a smaller room. I called the hotel and asked, this is not what I asked for. We deal with it, you go to sleep. I go back to sleep and wake up for work the next day. And so the guarantee of a travel consultant is your issues will be sorted. They're real time, because we have people, we have relationships with properties, with companies, with people in every single destination.
What about now due diligence on your end, because you are dealing with the whole planet at this point? You know, people are going to different destinations. So is it required of you to learn languages, you know, beyond English, because English is not really as universal as we'd like, you know, to think. Even as close as here, Tanzania, not everyone is speaking English. So now, are you required to learn more languages? And also the culture shock, because different cultures are interpreted differently. Something that would be very appropriate here is very inappropriate somewhere else. So now, how do you come up with all of these tips and facets to make sure that my client will be okay? I may not speak Korean, it doesn't go beyond my knowledge of K-dramas, but you know, they'll be sorted on the end.
Again, when you get into school for tourism, there's a whole, I think you're required to even take 3 languages if you can. But
so how many do you speak?
I speak 4 languages, and 2 of them are Kenyan languages. So but I was taught French and a bit of Japanese. I tried a bit of Spanish, but again, that's where I stopped at. But again, you cannot open a business that you require international audience, international guests, and not have personnel that can communicate in the universal language, which is English. And so yes, sometimes it's a bit difficult. There's a barrier, but there's always someone who is as struggling as they can be at that particular time. There's always someone who you can communicate with. I found myself actually getting the, what do you call it, the South African accent, because I was calling the hotels so much, I started speaking like them. But there's always going to be someone in every single country that you can always communicate with.
And as much as you guys are making money and profiting off, you know, people, you know, traveling and seeing new cultures and enjoying, you know, everything that the planet has to offer, there's always the impact of the impact on the environment. You know, we're talking about global warming, whether it's real or not. We're talking about pollution and whatnot. So as a travel consultant, what would you say has been your contribution or your effort to reduce your carbon footprint at this point?
First and foremost, we really and I'm happy that most clients, most travelers are getting on board with paperless traveling. yeah, where we no longer have, you have to print everything and go with a whole, you know, booklet.
A whole file.
Yeah, you have to show this to this, show this to this. You know, we are going paperless, so we are going digital, and in essence, you know, cutting less trees for that. Again, we always try to make sure that in every destination that we are going to, we sensitize the client, you know, because every destination, every country has its rules when it comes to the environment. But for us, we really, really sensitize on, if you throw paper, if you throw plastic in that country, utafungwa, you know,
you'll be arrested,
and you will be arrested. And you know, for us, we cannot intervene with the local authority. You see, there's so much we can do as a travel consultant, as a travel agency. There's so much you can do. If you do not abide to the laws of the country, then, you know, you will be arrested.
You'll face the consequences.
And you will face the consequences. And so we try to sensitize every step of the way. By the time you go, we give you, this is the destination you're going to, this is the country, this is what they're looking at on this aspect, in this aspect, in this aspect. No, so when it comes to the environment, again, we encourage paperless. We encourage people to travel with minimal disposable items, you know. Don't carry too much plastic, too much, you know, those non-recyclable items. And so first, one step at a time, we are getting there, at least paperless.
Yes, it's a step forward. It's a step forward towards something.
Yes.
And as a woman in this business, in this industry, you've been there since 2011, so that's quite some time. What would you say has been your experience as a woman, specifically as a woman in this industry?
It becomes more, you have to put in more effort. Because again, the time differences, sometimes you have clients, because again, it's not just Kenyans traveling out, we have clients coming in. Sometimes you have to go meet them at the airport, you know. The flight is coming in at midnight. You have to make sure you're coming from home, you go to the airport, you meet them, you have to be safe. So you have to put in extra effort when it comes to, number one, your safety. You have to put in more effort when it comes to the work that you're putting in, because in tours and travel, especially tours, it's more of kind of like men dominated, especially because, you know, you go to the Mara, you're driving the ranges and the Land Cruisers, and you know, it's giving
testosterone.
I know, you know, and again, they can fight lions, I don't know.
That's what they say.
Or run faster.
Exactly.
You know, and so we have to be more careful, we have to put in more effort. Again, as a woman, as a mother, I have to really find balance, you know. I have to be there for my family. I have to be there. I have to put in my best at work. And so, yes, I have to put in a bit more, but I put it a bit more gladly, because it's my passion. It's something that I love to do. I've done it for so long, and I'm doing it for much more longer.
Awesome. And what would you say very quickly have been the challenges that you've experienced, you know, apart from the fact that there's the need to balance work life and home life, which is not a problem for most of our male counterparts? What other challenges have you experienced so far?
I've experienced clients who do not want to know that it's not possible, you know, and so just being wise in handling that. I've experienced disappointments when it comes to booking clients. I've experienced loss of money when it comes to, again, that's why we shield clients. If you come to us, we take the losses. And so the challenges are very many, and I've gone through a lot of them for the many years, but I could say I would do it over again.
Awesome. And you had mentioned the fact that, you know, most people are moving towards digitalized, you know, consultancy when it comes to travel. Where do you foresee the future of the industry in, let's say, 5 years?
I think the industry is stable as it is. And the fact that we are going more digital does not mean people don't need advice.
A personalized touch.
Exactly, yeah. And so when you book online, it might not tell you that you need a visa to that place. Then you book the ticket, you have the ticket, you go to the airport, you have no visa. You asked me, I will tell you, these destinations are visa free, these ones are not. These ones you need a transit. You're not staying there, but you're going through there, so you need a transit. And so in the next 5 years, yes, we're going to have a vibrant digital space when it comes to travel, but we still need people who are doing the research on different destinations that can advise you accordingly.
Okay. And apart from travel consultancy, doing my research, you had said you do something else. What is it?
I'm a podcaster. My podcast is called Life Codes 254, where we speak about mental health awareness and mental health wellness, as well as relationships and the dynamics of relationships and money. And so I'm very, very passionate about making a change in the society, especially now that we're living in times where a lot of suicidal news is happening, and so I'm very, very passionate about making sure that the young people in our community are aware of the challenges that have mental health has impacted in the community. Okay. And so I do podcasting. Of course, I do eating, which is on camera, ASMR.
The mukbang. Oh, ASMR.
Yeah.
Okay.
So generally content creation is a thing for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very diverse, you know. When it comes to a portfolio, she has a very diverse one. Yeah. What would you give as advice to somebody who's, you know, in a situation you are when, you know, you were finishing school and you're weighing your options and you're not quite sure what to pursue and what's going to work out for you?
I would say, for me, I had a very good support system. Yeah, but if you don't have that, have at least 5 things that you would want to do. Do some research on them. Yeah, find out, can this work? Does this look like something that has happened before and can happen in the next 20, 50 years, you know? Have a list of 5 things that you would love to see yourself doing, and then the confidence to just pursue them. Again, it is okay to be wrong. It is okay to fail.
You live and learn.
Exactly. And so don't be afraid to try that, put it aside, try the next one, until you find that thing that makes your heart race.
That is very good advice. Thank you so much. Where can people find you on social media?
Annette White. I'm on Instagram. That is Annette White. Annette is ANNETTE, and then white, the color white. Okay. So that is Annette White on Instagram and Facebook. And then my podcast is Life Codes 254, the codes to life. So Life Codes 254. We're on YouTube. That's our channel, and we're growing, and we're impacting lives. And so those are the 3 platforms that you can find me.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Annette White. Thank you so much for having this conversation with us, for demystifying this travel things that we have, travel stereotypes that we have and have stuck to. Thank you so much for coming through. And until next week, my name is Turife. Goodbye.